Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to SimTraX Broadcasting. We come to you live here with the National Oval Racing Association at the Food City 300 here tonight. Yep, we're going to be here at Bristol Motor Speedway, back on the concrete. You guys may have just watched over there with the NSR Series out there on Saturday. Pretty decent race, not a whole lot of wrecking and crashing out there. Can't say much here for the National Oval Racing Association. A couple of guys getting a few bumpers bent, a few feelings hurt already into the practice and the happy hour moment, as these guys are going ahead and wrapping around the track, trying to find if there's anything different about this track. Now, unfortunately, there has been a little rain before this racetrack here tonight, so this track is super clean. There will be no rubber buildup, as we saw over there with the different leagues. So these guys are going to be laying down fresh strips of rubber out there when they get out there on the track. So as you can see, Jacob Gladelick doesn't like that car. He's going to be smashing it off the wall. And Jake Christenberry will be out there in the number 48. We'll have that corrected next week there for Mr. Christenberry. You'll notice him out there in the Lowe's machine. Let's go ahead and take a look at what our race is going to consist of here tonight. 300 laps, yeah. Oh, some of you guys may be taking that deep breath, but I assure you it's going to be going by fast. Some of these guys will be breaking under the 15-second mark per lap, and that'll be just fine. 60% fuel limit, so we'll be kind of stretching it out over 70 laps before we'll see these guys have to come down for fuel. Fortunately, there'll be 10 sets of tires waiting for them on this fixed setup race. No fast repairs, though, so you've got to be careful. Now, notice that track temperature sitting around 80. Good for the tires to set in, but horrible for race conditions later on in the run. Stella, anything left to add here before we get ready to rock?
We should have a nice full field. I'm seeing 25 drivers in the grid.
All right, 25 drivers out there in the grid. Any of them serving a penalty tonight?
We only have one. That'd be Nick Pressey. He had a pit lane violation last race, so he should not be qualifying.
All right, well, we'll definitely hold him to it and see if he comes down and serves that, or if he is still protesting that. So go ahead and take a look at our starting grid here for tonight. Brian Jones and Dalton Tucker starting in that number one row. They're making it happen up front. Josh Conover sits third next to Matthew George. Vincent Arthur is going to be starting fifth next to Cody Reeder. Not bad here as our first three rows here looking pretty solid. Dustin Kleba will be starting in seventh next to Brady Moats and Blake Hoppy. Now, Hoppy didn't have a whole lot of practice time out here, so he's going to be holding his breath out there in that Robbie Gordon machine. Let's see how he can do. But a driver who put down the most practice laps is going to be Dylan Picklesheimer out there in the Rusty Wallace Miller Lite machine. Let's see how we can do outside the top 10, where we find Eric Essery sitting in the 32 tied, and the AOL machine of Kevin Baumler. Right now, Baumler has been having a dismal time here lately, hopefully looking to turn that around, maybe with a little short track racing. Moving on to Tony Stewart's machine of Jacob Gladelick in the number 20. He'll be starting 13th, and Al Likens in the 77. Moving on to Chris Heitz and Nick Geilis rounding out our top 8 rows. Moving on, Sam Taylor and Cody Smith. Now, Cody Smith, he's had some time out here, but he's going to be having a hard charge forward. I know last week he ended up having to check out early, especially after a top 3 finish he had the week prior to that. So Cody Smith having the highs and lows already early this season. You said Nick Pressey's going to be serving in the back. Right now I'm showing him 19th on qualifying, so we'll see if he is going to be serving that. Moving on to Mike Moultrie, who starts 20th. Missed last race, so we'll see if the Silver Bullet can get back out there and do it. Looks like he's going to be rocking the black paint scheme here tonight, setting the Silver Bullet off to the side. Moving on to Cody Height, who starts 21st. James Hudson is 22nd. Final row here of this race. Jake Christenberry, like I said, that number's going to be a little tumbled up. It'll show 84 out there in our ticker, but he'll be in the 48 machine there for Jimmy Johnson and Jacob Lee. Jacob Lee returning back to the track here. He'll be seeing how he can do out there in the number 10. Stella, I remember the number 10 being a Jimmy Benson car?
Personally, I like
Scott Riggs.
Oh, I believe you, but I'd like the Valvoline being Mark Martin.
Yep. Well, this is the same time that Mark Martin had gone ahead and checked out and moved on to the more of the Cialis Viagra car out there. So he'll be switching it up there a little bit. Pace car lights are off. Brian Jones and Dalton Tucker right now probably in the best spot on the track. Doesn't seem to be any sort of trouble out of these two. Let's go ahead and get this one started. Green flag here to kick off the Food City 300. Right now, I would say starting in the danger zone is going to be right now Brady Mose as he starts on the outside. Caution. Yep, that was quick.
My goodness.
Yep, I would think somewhere here in the back, Cody Smith, I think, got mangled already. Somebody may have sidestepped, and the common mistake that we see here at Bristol is guys trying to hammer down on it through the turn. So I'm wondering if that. Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Cody Smith was sitting on the turn during the restart here, which gets him trying to accelerate through a turn. Oh, a little bump there from Moultrie.
A big bump from Moultrie.
Hey, the way I look at it, that was probably one of the best cautions we'll ever see. No issues. We'll see if this is any sort of net code here. I'm concerned. Yep, there was some distance between those two, but he was definitely a way off pace. But take a look. Pressey missing, and the number 15 of Cody Height missing. Watch him just peel on around the front end of that car. So great job. It looks like everybody stays intact and no damage out there. I don't think the 22 will even come down for a quick pit stop. He's just going to reline back up and try to go at it again.
Yeah, I can't imagine anybody wanting to come down here on lap 2. But, yeah, with these tracks being banked, at this point they are still progressively banked. They got rid of that later on, but doing what you said about really driving hard through these turns, isn't that, I think you were speaking about them getting G-forces? These things are banked so high and they go so fast?
Yes, that was fortunately during the, when we start getting into the next gen series. Once we're back here with the Gen 4s, the suspension was a lot softer and these things would give a little bit as they went around the turns. A lot of what you saw back then, they were a little smushy. They were able to kind of bounce a little bit going around the turn. The next gen drives more like a brick, and it was pushing so hard down on the drivers that some of them were barely losing some consciousness out there, which is rather unfortunate. I would say not something you want to see happen at a short track, but definitely a couple things changing out there. But yeah, that is a possible situation. All right, worst case scenario here we're going to be seeing is a single file restart. I'd hate to see that. You'd almost hope that these guys would
just re-rack?
Right, re-rack and go again, because what you're looking at here is,
oh my heavens.
Right.
We're going to have lapped cars in 3 laps.
Right, well, that's the key of having to stay clean here right at the beginning here of this race. And I would say a driver like James Hudson here, who's currently sitting 21st. Notice how even all the way to the left side of the screen, you don't even see the pace car. There is quite a bit of distance between all of our drivers here on green flags, so this is going to be pretty rough here as we see them already entering 1 and we're exiting 4. Notice how we've already got some ducking and diving here. We'll sit on top of James Hudson here for just a moment as we see this track start to spread out. Hudson running a good line here, a little late on the throttle. That's going to allow the 15 of Cody Height to pull away. Now, we've said in multiple broadcasts that these turns are not symmetrical. 3 and 4 will be a little bit wider. 1 and 2 will be more of the pinch. So you'll see guys having to pivot off 1 and 2 and then drive through 3 and 4. So it's definitely changing it up a little bit. First driver to break under 14 seconds is going to go to the number 77 of Al Likens. Likens already caught up in a mix-up here, and I think Gladelick and Heights are around.
Ooh, yes, they are.
So the 17 machine out there representing Matt Kenseth is facing the inside wall. Yeah, right now he's got to get spun around. Remember I was saying these guys are starting single file. Right now he's watching the entire field pass him here. If the 17 does not spin around very soon, it will lock him into a lap down.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got to get going here. Yeah, so right now Christopher Heights may have sealed his fate. Hopefully that does not be the case, as he's got to tear around this track a couple of times here to get back onto the lead lap. Everybody sitting behind the pace car now. We'll double check, as right now Christopher Heights is showing currently a lap down here. Jacob Gladelick catching up to the tail end here of our field. And taking a look, see how they're starting to slowly catch up.
He's made it.
Yep. All right, well, let's take a look at what our wreck consists of here. Who loops it? Oof.
I think a spotter was napping on the job.
Well, the 20 machine does come down and just barely looks like he nudges the edge of the apron here. And he slid up. And when he came up, I don't think he saw Christopher Heights at all. Heights and I guarantee you Gladelick may come down in a bit and try to see if they can fix any part of that race car. Because here's coming exiting the turn, and you can see the 20 starting to fade up, but the 17's got to run. And it's extremely hard for a spotter to kind of gauge that the 20 car may have been going slow enough to get there. Chuck Fletcher, your ears do not deceive you, my man.
I don't know. I thought you were sounding pretty okay, considering.
Yeah, well, we're dealing with a little bit of under the weather conditions here.
Spring congestion.
Yeah, but we're going to make the best of it here. We're hopped up on enough meds. We're ready to go for 2 races.
No. Lord.
No. So Brian Jones is yet to be challenged here yet. Dalton Tucker would love to have run him down there, but I think some solid green flag laps would give him an opportunity. I would say right now our top 5 drivers have yet to change a single position yet. Everybody else has been mixing it up here in the back. Jacob Gladelick losing 10. He was from 13th to 23rd. And Christopher Heights losing 10 as well, starting 15th. So those two getting tangled up in the last one as they start moving together. Let's go ahead and get back under green. We can see some fast laps. Let's go ahead and sit along with somebody who's zooming around this track right now. Yeah, look at Dalton Tucker hugging the bottom line. Let's see if he rides about
Brian
halfway
Jones.
up here. Remember, 3 and 4 are a little wider. He decides not to. Normally, we'll see guys try to triangulate that turn a little bit through 3 and 4. And that's exactly what Brian Jones is doing. 14.83 knocked down there by Dalton Tucker, which is the best time. Both these guys right now sitting 1 and 2 running identical times. There we go. Brian Jones gets him by 10,000ths of a second that last lap. Just going to show you how 1 and 2 are making the breakaway. We look back 1 second to find Josh Conover. Boy, talk about getting separation. These two guys, they should be catching the tail end of the field after not too much longer. This is definitely working out very, very well here. Right now, Christopher Heights may be our last guy in the running here, but take a look. Dalton Tucker holding on the bottom. No can do. That's Dalton Tucker here. This is Christopher Heights passing the line. Passing the line here. Here they come.
Somebody just came down onto the apron really far. Were they coming into pit?
I don't believe so. No. Well, especially when you start seeing guys bumping and banging back here. When we take a look back, let's say around that Brady Moats area. Al Likens on the charge forward. Woo, man. Take a look at Cody Reeder get a lot larger there in the passenger side windshield. You'll see guys, what they'll start doing is bumping and nudging, guys getting pushed off the track there a little bit. And things will start happening. Finally getting some green flag stretch here. I think everybody's pretty happy about this. Tell you what.
Yeah, we did have a pit road taker, Mike Moultrie. He's down getting some work done.
Mike Moultrie with some trouble already. Do not hear the engine running. I don't know if he's got a disconnect problem or something's going on with that race car. 30 seconds down in the box. This is going to put him almost completely out of contention tonight. You cannot go laps down here at Bristol.
Now, when you figure a lap is 15 seconds and you're in there for just in the box for 40, not including the time it took you to get there, that's, like you say, that can be a terminal diagnosis.
Yep. Well, we're taking a look out there in the chat. BPay out there rooting on rooting on Jacob Lee, but it looks like Jacob Lee's got a problem as well, currently sitting down in pit road.
He is.
As he is mangled up pretty bad. Seems we are not in the hot zone here of where these guys are getting mushed up. Hopefully these guys will calm it down just a hair here. You don't think so?
No. Look at Dalton Tucker. He's going to make a try for it again.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Gotta try now rather than later. Good run here. He's taking another look, but no can do.
Yeah, B's out there rooting on Al Likens. Oh, and he's also rooting on Dylan Picklesheimer. Oh my goodness, he has a whole group of people he wants. Is that an entire team? Yep. Al Likens, James Hudson, Dylan Picklesheimer, and Sam Taylor, the Robert Yates Racing Team.
All right, finally seeing Vincent Arthur break up one position, passing Dustin Kleba. Kleba looking to fight on the outside here. Ryan Jones might be in some trouble. This is a shot here for the lead. Ryan Jones holding on just barely.
And our field is currently down to 23.
All right, two drivers who have taken it back to the garage, Mike Moultrie and Jacob Lee. Both those guys only made about 21, 22 laps out there. Well, I tell you what, look at this. Dalton Tucker, I think, is letting Brian Jones know you're not getting away.
He's making him work for it, for sure. Yeah, talking to the guys before the race down on pit road, they were telling me to expect there to be basically 5 guys up in the front the whole race in a nice clump, and the rest of everybody was going to be fighting for 6th on down. So I'm curious, you know, we've got Dustin Kleba invading that space. But Brian Jones, Dalton Tucker, Josh Conover, Vincent Arthur in the 1 through 5 are still right where they started. So it might have been a good call.
Yeah, I would say some that are looking to break in a little bit farther. Taking a look at Al Likens here. Likens to the outside of Brady Moats. I believe that's Kevin Ballmer that was taking a look as well. Woo, Moats. Letting him know he was there. You saw how Al Likens almost playing a defensive position. You saw him pull away from the wall. Yeah, he was worried about Moats knocking into him. Last thing you want to do is get in, you know, get as close to the wall and then have nowhere to go, run out of an escape plan. So Moats actually able to fend off Al Likens, push him down to that number 10 spot. Say that, Al Likens in the blink of an eye. Kevin Ballmer passes him, knocking Al Likens out of the top 10.
Yes. And Blake Hoppy coming up from behind. And don't count out Blake Hoppy. Last time we were here at Bristol, he knows Bristol. It wasn't this car, but he did come in 3rd for Richard Childress Racing.
Yeah, that would be the only thing that would concern me. Yes, Blake Hoppy may know this track. He may have had a decent finish at this track. But recently, Blake Hoppy's been struggling here since we've moved to the Gen 4 cars. I'm interested to see if Blake Hoppy is going to be able to figure this car out. Some guys can, some guys can't. But man, oh man, his luck just continues to get worse and worse out there for the 31. I don't think he's had a top 15 finish here all season. And right now, Hoppy currently running in 11th.
Yeah, he is 14th in the standings, but he has had 5 starts. But as you say, no top 5s. He's had a top 10.
Yep. Okay, so he's had a top 10 finish out there, but Hoppy just He's either getting wrecked out or just bad luck out there, and that does not work. Matthew George looks like he's in trouble. George losing a position here to Cody Reeder as he pivots off that 25. And, good turn exit speed. 25 of Matthew George able to pull on through. Not able to hold on for long as he's trying to see if he can squeak by this 19. Cannot pull all the way through. You notice that 19 car used to be driven by Jeremy Mayfield out there, currently held on to by Cody Reeder. He's around there somewhere as we take a look around camera view wise, trying to find where Cody Reeder's playing peekaboo out of the left side here of this car.
Yeah, if he can get him to look out his, Matthew George to look out his rear view mirror, we have seen that that is not the best way to drive. But Cody Reeder for Effingham Motorsports came in second last season at Bristol. So another driver that we can expect to at least know the track, if not the car.
Yep. Dylan Picklesheimer gives up a position there to Eric Essery. Essery now moving up to 10th. We take a look, Al Likens falling all the way back down now to 14th. It's a original qualifying spot for him, but he is going to be hopefully coming back. I know Al Likens has been pretty confident here of what he can do out there, but I think we got a pass for the lead. Getting around some lap traffic here, and it looks like Brian Jones may have fumbled. Dalton Tucker taking an attack here to the inside line. Tucker going to squeeze him up toward the top. Tucker now diving in early. That's going to be some trouble here for Brian Jones. Right now, Tucker going to ricochet off. Tough run here as they dart out of the next turn. Moving on through, trying to find another groove. 3 and 4, Dalton Tucker goes up and knocks the side of his car in. Letting that 45 know he's not happy. He wants to rotate up, and he's going to lose it. So Tucker, with his closest chance yet, is unable to hold on. Tucker wants to duck in behind, but Cody Smith blocking that lane.
Yeah, Cody Smith is definitely keeping himself in the mix in this group up here, as well as Jacob Gladley, both being lap-down cars.
Yep, there we go, still door to door. I would say here, Stella, looking at kind of hindsight from when we see Dalton Tucker take over the lead. There's a little knock there from Brian Jones. That look who's able to catch up. That is just Josh Conover, who was back about 2.5 seconds, has now caught these guys. Dustin Kaliba as well. Right now, so lap traffic definitely playing a huge token in here, and caution is out.
Oh,
Sam
yep.
Taylor's our guy around.
And so far, everybody missing him. Nobody stuck in target fixation. We haven't had a broadside.
Yeah, I think it would be safe to put in reverse now. Get off the track. There you go. Great job there by locking it down there for the number 12. Unfortunately, involved in this caution. Hopefully that damage isn't too extensive. We do see the front nose. Yes. Front and both front sides have been smushed up here.
And say we're lucky that he has no hood flipped up. That's been a new model that's quite dismaying as far as what these drivers can and cannot see when that happens.
Yep. All right. So pit road is taking underway. Single file pit roads here tonight. Oh, net code, baby.
I hate to hear that.
Well, he wasn't even touching him, but you saw his car nudge about 3 times. Boy, did you see that? Did you see Brian Jones slide around him there? Holy cow. And we'll kind of take another look at it here. Watch the slow-mo. See, it's showing it touching him, touching him, touching him. He's not even touching him here. And I would say as he slides back up the track, watch as he ricochets off. These are leaders coming up on him.
Oh.
Right here. There's Tucker. Look at Jones.
Oh, he might have a little right rear damage. He might have tagged the wall.
Yeah.
Well, as I hear out there, tires are being fried to beat the band. So a lot of these guys have been really hoping to get a caution right about now. They say anything past 10 laps and they'd like a new set of tires.
Yeah, this has become very difficult out there for some of these guys. Sam Taylor is the cause of our last caution here. Gets looped around. I'm sure they're going to try to see if they can fix as much of that damage as they can. So fortunately, Dalton Tucker making that pass just in time to come down pit road first and out first. And that's going to line up all our lapped cars here to the inside. That's going to make these guys take a deep gasp. And let's see how they do. Green flag is out. Lapped cars caught asleep.
Wow.
Yeah, which that's going to land them right around the Vincent Arthur area. Arthur going to have to deal around with the 88. That being driven by James Hudson out there. All right, well, quick breakaway. Josh Conover was able to catch these guys, but not soon enough. And I believe Mr. Giles is going to be the charge of our next caution.
Oh.
Yeah, Sharpie machine. Stella, I don't want to poke too much here with the 97. Is this guy, has Giles completed a race this season?
I do. Hang on, I'll have to go look at some stats for that one.
Okay, I knew Giles, he's been out there. He can either get about a third or half the race, but it looks like we may have a left front broken tie rod end here, as he is in the process of turning and not turning. So the 97 machine under heavy damage. Take a look back and see what happens to Nick Giles here. That's actually during caution. Stella, I don't know if you noticed that. Check this back on lap 59. Look at Giles. This guy can't win. Watch. Clink.
Oh.
And then look. I mean, just... And then, not but a little bit later, so now it folds his rear bumper under, and I don't think he knows he doesn't have any downforce anymore, and the car lets go.
Oh. Well, I hate to say it, but Kyle Rochelle started that 3 laps earlier. He got a little bit back. That is who's running the target, right?
Yes, Kyle Rochelle.
Okay.
Well, it looks like he survives, though. Car back out. Boy, this is going to play up just a little bit. See how this goes. Dalton Tucker has the lead here. And what I was saying before, our caution was came out that our... boy, what is Brian Jones doing here? So I got locked in. He's on the apron, and now he's up toward the edge of the wall. Unsure. Currently showing these guys are supposed to be under green flag right now. Did you just see the pace truck disappear?
Yeah, maybe they're being held to get everybody. No, they're not.
Yeah, something's wrong here. I think they're having a re-rack. Some of these drivers did not get up to the front like they were supposed to when they were lapped down. So there may be a pretty decent shuffle up. I think Dalton Tucker's trying to get back around to the pace truck here. Some of these guys should be re-racking back up to the front here. Showing James Hudson had a problem. hoping. Sometimes this happens if somebody loops it under caution. And, oh, man.
So is this an extended caution,
Yes.
or is this an extra caution?
This is an extended caution. What that can do is if somebody creates or wrecks under caution, then the caution is then extended. So I think that's why everybody got tangled up, is everybody got lined up, and now we're having extended another lap or so.
So when did this one start? I know it's a stupid question, but 60?
Lap 65. Well, are you talking about originally?
Yes.
And then with Nick Gillis back on 61.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it said there was some trouble back on lap 63 with Vincent Arthur, but I don't think anything happened with him. Yeah, I think it says something if there's a certain amount of speed underneath. If you're doing under 15, it'll show us that there's a problem out there. Boy.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit of an odd caution here. Food City 300 almost coming up on that 1/3 mark.
Wish the overcast would go away so we could get a little bit more sunshine on the track. Oh. The pace car does not roll off anymore.
Yeah.
I thought I imagined it the first time I saw it. I thought maybe I blinked.
Well,
and
it should be also sitting at a green flag here, and then we're getting ready to rip here in just a second. There we go.
All right, Dalton Tucker, Brian Jones, Josh Conover now, yes. Dustin Kaliba and Vincent Arthur, 1 through 5.
Yep, as we kind of get a press box view looking down at what everybody's doing out there, you kind of get a gist of seeing our top 5 drivers having to shuffle around through the lapped cars. Dalton Tucker, Brian Jones, and Josh Conover able to make it on by before our lapped car of Cody Smith, currently sitting in 20th, holds on to what looks like 4th, but he's all the way back in the 20th position. So these guys are going to be shuffling all the way back. We'll see if Cody Smith is able to get one of his laps back. He's got to get up there to the front, but right now racing behind Josh Conover, that's going to be extremely hard to do. Huge bunch up out there on the track, as I think the 97 of Nick Gillis has returned back to the track, but way under speed here. Nick Gillis sitting just above our 2 drivers that are out of the race. Sam Taylor has gotten around him in the number 12. He was actually back there on the lap 55 car.
Nick went back down pit road.
Yep, still dealing with some damage. And something tells me Gillis, that car is still not working right here. So he'll be heading back down pit road, revisit and see if they can fix this thing. Nick Pressey sitting here in 13th. Stella, do we have a confirmation whether Nick Pressey served his penalty tonight?
He qualified. However, when he was placed in the grid, he was placed merely by not his qualification time, but where his owner's package is. So I would say yes. It wasn't technically an EOL, but it was a do not qualify. Didn't qualify.
All right. All right, well, Kyle Rochelle joining back with this league. I haven't seen him in quite a while. We see him there in the number 39 down at the bottom. That's currently sitting for the number 14 spot. I believe we see a little bit of fighting up toward the front with Dustin Kaliba. Kaliba trying to stay out in front of Vincent Arthur. As you see, he definitely wants to make sure they push past Sam Taylor out there in the Ryan Newman car. Getting on through. Lap 81 is underway. Dalton Tucker still leading this one, but Brian Jones wants it. Dalton Tucker able to take the high side line like he wanted it in the first place. He's been riding low all night. But finally getting the separation he's been looking for. 0.3 of a second, now 4.
Also, Nick Gillis is here to let you know what's going on if you'd like.
All righty, go ahead and take it away there, Stella.
Hey, Nick, see you in the infield car care center. You all right?
Yeah, just, some iRacing nonsense,
Ah,
caution stuff. I figure I'd come up here and explain some of that too.
okay.
So we don't know what's going on exactly, but for some reason it seems like whenever the lap cars or the wave rounds on the one to go get to the restart box, it seems to send it green flag.
Yes.
And so it's been causing mayhem in the back cab.
Oh,
So yeah, I got run over. Somebody just wasn't paying attention, and
yes, you did.
oh, yeah, and it ruined my car at that point, and then the rest of it, yeah, it's not been a fun time.
Man.
Yeah, we've seen you go down once for 5 minutes. Now you've been down there again waiting. What does it say
Oh,
your
it's
expected replacement time is?
there is none. It's
Oh,
as fixed as they're gonna get it, and the
oh,
wheel is 90 degrees to the right on the straightaways. So
oh dear.
yeah, it's not drivable. It's just
So you're
if
gonna be
yeah,
spotting from the box.
yep. If I were to go back out there, it I honestly felt like it was gonna spin when I went back out. So that was when I was like, nope, I'm not causing another caution. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, tough to see that here, Nick, as what we got going on out here. Man, you've had a rough season here at the beginning. What in the world is it going to take to get that 97 some decent luck out here?
would have been being at Vegas. But hopefully Texas can bring something. I don't know. It's gonna be slick. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure these cars out a little bit. Most of it's been my own induced fault. Daytona was, I got hit by about everything under the sun, but everything else has been my fault. So I take full blame for most of my issues. Tonight was a little bit different, but if I keep the car clean, I can at least finish the race, and then we'll see where we can go from there.
It actually came up as a curiosity here. Have you made it yet through a race this season?
No,
Oh,
no, yeah, no. I have DNF'd every race. I actually got disqualified at Daytona
oh,
Incident
for
points.
incidents.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I got
oh.
hit so many times.
Yeah, they turned
That's
him into
insane.
a pinball out there.
Yeah, Daytona. I had the 24. I hit the incident limit. 24 incidents. Of those 24 incidents, I caused 2.
Oh man, yes.
Yeah,
that's
I
when
was
you're
just
all in the
human.
pinball machine.
Yep. So it's
Well,
been a
here.
difficult season, but I love these cars. I love having you guys broadcast us. It has been, apart from tonight with precautions, fantastic racing each and every week, and you guys put on a great show. So I did want to come up here and finally get in the booth to be able to thank you guys for
Well,
doing
do
this
it.
week in and week
Do your
out.
shout outs here real quick,
So,
because we
uh,
are back under green.
Yep. Shout out to Chris Heights for driving that 17. Justin Bland, hopefully he can get his computer back up and going, and we can get him back out here. Spencer Burton, Brandon Dunford for filling in when he did. The rest of the admin team, and of course you guys for the great show that you guys put on. So thank you. I'm gonna go help Chris as best I can the rest of the race.
Thank
All right,
you.
buddy. Appreciate you, Nick. All right, Stella, we are back under green here. That last caution shows that Sam Taylor and Dylan Picklesheimer were caught up, and that we'll go back there to that in just a little bit. I do want to stay here on the battle that originally Brian Jones had started there. Rear-ended the back end of Dustin Kleba at the start of the race, and Brian Jones has been fighting ever for his life here as he restarted back in the 5th position. 4 tires and fuel for Brian Jones, as everybody else looked like they didn't take tires, or only 1 set for Reeder and Kleba. So they are charging back to the front here, and Brian Jones showing that 4 tires was the best call. Dalton Tucker coasting out there, but it might have to start leaning back on the gas as the 45 is coming on high.
Yeah, I do not blame him if he got started in 5th, but he's right there up behind him, just a half a second.
All right, well, we're going to see if Brian Jones Dodge can come up with the power there to run him down as we are creeping up on that 1/3 mark. Couple of drivers coming up with some solutions here. Kevin Baumler, he's up 4 here on the night here at this short track. Matthew George is his next victim if he can pass him. But Brady Moats sits right behind watching to see if he's got a little bit of an angle. Unfortunately, Brady Moats does have damage to the front nose of his race car out there, and we'll get a closer look at it. See, he's a little folded in there. He's got to be careful here tonight as he may be running in overheat issues later on.
Not enough air through that little first lip he's got.
Nope. No can do. I don't know how many drivers out there don't have any incident points here so far. Look where Vincent Arthur is. He's currently caught right in between our, I believe those are our KPR drivers? No, those are our Evernham Motorsports drivers. Yeah, look at this. Getting ready to send it 3 wide.
Oh.
Yes, he does. He opens it right up. Vincent Arthur bebopping on through. Goes ahead and gives a little nudge there to Reeder. Rides along the side of Cleva and through. Vincent Arthur up to 3rd.
Gave him a little pressed ham there, but he made it. 19 just took a little swipe off the wall for good measure to line up both sides, now aerodynamically the same. And I'm noticing Jake Christenberry is up 11 points. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that he currently is. Normally that 48 originally driven out there by Dylan Banks. Forfeiting the number and now giving it up to Jake Christenberry. So we'll definitely squeeze that and keep that on. Right now, take a look at Matthew George, who's out there toying around with Josh Conover on the bottom. Right now, that's... Any
idea what happened to Kyle Rochelle? He was up 13 up there next to Christenberry, and now he has dropped down 4 places just in this last lap.
Now, Kyle Rochelle only looks like he took maybe a set of tires. 7.28, so very quick. And it looks like he continues to roll backwards. Something's wrong. He is under power here. Down pit road he goes.
Okay. Ooh. Wow, I thought he flipped the tire. A barrel, excuse me, with his tire.
Yep, almost earned the All About Barrels award. Look at that. I think it looked like he was dog tracking on the way in. He's going to end up in some problems. And I'm showing Vincent Arthur with a full disconnect here.
Oh, no.
Oh, there he is. He's back. Vincent Arthur falling down to 18th.
Wow. I am shocked.
And Stella, remember you asked me if there were single or dual pit roads. This is a single pit road. So you see right now Rochelle into the pit box and back out. So he's finally going to be able to reemerge back out onto the track. But he is definitely a handful of laps down here. As he's going to try to charge back forward and see if he can come up with some of them. Cody Reeder. Let's see how close he is. Right now I believe Blake Hoppy has him under fire. Hoppy taking a look here. In the singular wireless car. Right now, Hoppy's got a good line here. Might have to send it in just a little bit harder into these turns. The only reason I say that, Stella, is short tracks are my favorite, especially tracks like Bristol. Bristol and Dover Speedway. Maybe it's just the concrete.
That's a specialty, I'm sure, because from what I hear, it's the big, long, sweeping plate tracks that everybody likes. Not these. These are busy tracks in my book. You can't reach over and take a sip while you're doing these.
No, absolutely not. No. You got to be up on the steering wheel on this one. You see anybody leaning back or looking around? Whoa! As Jake Christenberry goes down and nudges the edge of that apron. Right now, he's got to start fading up the track here and using every bit of it. See, Stella, what ends up happening is a guy who rides down close to the apron and keeps riding low on the front or back straightaway. You can do that, but what it ends up doing is it ends up melting the tires, and it overheats them, and that's what you're seeing out of Christenberry here. Is he's got to get toward the high side to give those tires a moment to cool off. And right now, you see exactly him doing just that, riding that high side, trying to get the temperature to come down those tires a little bit. and it's a lot harder. Once the tires are heated up, they're almost impossible to cool off, but it does take time. So you'll see Christenberry sit back here for a little bit, probably in 5 or 6 laps, and then he can start re-attacking again rather than overheat those tires. And it gets super slick, and drivers start sliding up the track. So right now, Christenberry's starting to enjoy that 12 position gain here tonight. Nick Pressey enjoying his 9 position gain here so far tonight. But man, oh man, has he got some trouble, and take a bit of trouble. Look at this, pass for the lead. Here it comes, Dustin Kleba, and it looks like Josh Conover now taking a shot. Brian Jones mixed out of it here as he drops down now to the 7th position. And we're having to find a telescope before we can find Brian Jones, who's all the way in the back.
My goodness. Well, I wouldn't say 7th is all the way in the back, but it's definitely a far cry from where he has been all night.
Yeah, we checked out over there with the NSR League. Drivers having almost a 2-second lead over top of the guy in 2nd and 3rd. Right now, that is Brian Jones, who's now down 2.5 seconds off Dustin Kleba, who's now our new leader. And I got to admit, Stella, when you look like this, and you can see all the way on that left side, those are our leaders. That's the matter of about three seconds now that we see Brian Jones falling off. But that's, I got to pass 7 more guys to get back to the lead. So Brian Jones may have to make a different pit strategy here to get back out to the front, because Brian Jones is slacking off a huge bit, especially from having such a commanding lead early in the race.
Yeah, and speaking of pit strategy, looking at Dalton Tucker, still running on those tires from laps 57. I'm wondering if that's why Kleba and Conover and even Matthew George are just way walking past the side.
Well, I guarantee if we have an early caution here, another one here in the next 10 to 15 laps, I'm sure we'll see everybody revisit down pit road and we'll see them re-attack. Now remember, the 45 was able to churn back to the front after a kind of a crummy pit stall jab he had there. Remember, he dropped down to the 5th position on restart. So he had a very slow pit stop time, and I'm wondering if it made him a little gun shy about coming back down and losing more positions. Unfortunately, right now he is still clawing, holding on to a top 10 as Nick Pressey gets around him. Jake Christenberry will be the one who's next, but Christenberry came down on lap 84 with fresh tires, and I'm thinking Brian Jones with his 84 tires, he should be in good shape.
Yeah, I believe so. The interesting one that down on 84 would be Dustin Kleba. I think that that particular run was only for fuel. Now you have better data on that than I do. That he has come down twice. Did he come down on another time to get tires?
Yes, he should have gotten tires back on, I believe it was lap 50. He came down. He came down on 84 for 2.
Ouch, got it. Okay.
Yep. So a set of right side tires for Dustin Kleba are helping tighten up that race car. And that is what's helping him get out in front of Conover. Conover not, he may reap the rewards here of a set of 4 tires for him, but he is definitely trying to keep it close between him and Kleba, at least by half a second. We look another 1.5 seconds back is where we find Matthew George, who right now is under fire by Kevin Baumler. I would say we don't never count out Baumler, but boy, oh boy, is this guy showing up to play here tonight. A top 5 right now. Qualified outside the top 10, but right now the AOL machine getting ready to send it to him here.
Yeah, we never count out Balmer. I mean, he's even had a pole on one of the races this season. So.
Now here comes Baumler, right now sitting in 4th. Taking a look to the inside right now, it looks like Matthew George still under fire. Is able to get away as right now we sit on board here with Baumler. Matthew George holding on to a top 3, but I don't know for how long. Right now Baumler looks like he's got him. That he does, around he goes. Dalton Tucker coming down pit. Under green flag, this is going to be a heartbreaker here for Dalton Tucker. Definitely not what you want to be doing.
I will be surprised if Jacob Gladelick doesn't come in with him just because they both had 57 tires. But who does come in is Cody Smith.
Yep. Smith down some laps here, and so is Gladelick. Gladelick staying out, trying to turn some of them off. Gladelick currently on the lead lap now, but he is in danger. Showing Justin Cleveland and Josh Conover have passed him, so he's not registered him as a lap down yet. And now James Hudson is a lap down. Dalton Tucker finally making his way out of pits. Holy cow. This is going to put Tucker 3 laps down. And if this thing goes under caution, his night may be ruined. Right now, everybody trying to take it easy here. Watch Dalton Tucker floss that one. Right on through.
Yeah, it looked like Matthew Jewell. Boydge gave him a little bit too much room. Taking off some of the wall.
Yeah. Well, definitely don't want to mess with any of your lead drivers out there. Lap 137 underway. And look at Dalton Tucker and the difference what 4 tires can make. Goodbye. Now, Dalton Tucker, will, I'm sure, will be able to get one of his laps back here. But, ooh. That's what Dalton Tucker's hoping isn't going to happen. Everybody just kind of mind their P's and Q's out there. Dalton Tucker is passing our leader now. They'll only knock him down 2 laps.
Wow.
Cleveland into the wall.
I see that a lot. What causes that? I mean, is there an actual physical, like, wind as they go by kind of thing? Or is that just a, oh my, and lose a second of concentration?
Yeah, just the amount of force coming out of that turn that wants to sling you up the track. You are trying to use up as much of that track as possible. That way you can get a good dive. As soon as you enter the turn, the track actually helps you turn in with the banking. Well, come on, Cleveland. A little blank there.
Wow.
Yep. But as you head in toward the turn, the track actually dips down on the left, raises up on the right, and it'll actually help you tilt in. So you'll see the drivers head in there on the highest side, and as soon as it starts to tip in, that's how you can dive in and let the turn do the work for you, rather than that much more steering input. If you were down on the bottom and you try to stay on the bottom, you're going to have to really crank that wheel to stay on the bottom to carry any sort of speed through. But then that's when we start fighting oversteer and understeer issues.
And fried tires.
There you go. So right now, the more you can let the track work with you, the better. So when you're asking about getting close to the wall, it's hit or miss. If you get a guy who door drafts behind you, it can get you a little bit loose, get you up into the wall. But if you consider there isn't a whole lot of room at a track like this. You know, we're squeezed into half a mile. These guys are squeezing right close to the wall. You know, it's just you're trying to get as much speed as possible. But sometimes you'll go up there and give the wall a little kiss, give it a little nudge here every once in a while. But most of the time it's not forced.
You're like checking to make sure it's still there. Well, I know this track is like 40 feet wide, and they used to put some stuff down on the bottom of the track to give it more grip, to try to simulate a wider track or more lanes to the track, which I had not heard at other ones, but it's interesting they did that here for several years.
Yeah, and I think it was the first lane there of the apron is where it was, in case there were guys that were trying to avoid a wreck. It wasn't exactly for racing, it was trying to avoid any sort of wrecks that happen out there on the track. And what it would do is that they'd come down and touch that apron, it was like hitting glass. Get rid of that. All right, Josh Conover coming down on the green flag pit stop here on lap 150.
My goodness. Yeah, we had a couple fellas come in earlier too. We had, let's see, Dylan Picklesheimer, Cody Smith, Dalton Tucker coming down in the 130s, Cody Reeder and Jacob Gladelick coming down on 140. So a lot of these guys in the back have gone ahead and said, well, a lap is a lap. Let's get some new tires and go eat up the field.
Yep.
Here comes Jake Christenberry.
Oddly enough, checking back in again here on Dalton Tucker. Dalton Tucker getting ready to catch Dustin Kleba again. That's Kleba on the top line. So he will actually fight back and get 2 of his laps back here under green. There he goes around Kleba. Yep. Dalton Tucker really wheeling this thing out here. Trying to get back up there. Vincent Arthur heading down pit. Christopher Heights as well. Yep. Kleba remains out there on the track. Something tells me that number 9 is kind of gambling that the caution will come out.
He's figuring somebody's going to spin it on a new set of tires.
Yep. Well, right now that would be a good gamble here. I like the way he's thinking. Well, right now, every lap that goes by, Dalton Tucker starts picking up the pace and starting to reel him in. Right now, Tucker still needs to get around him 2 more times. One of them to get a lap back.
You go 3 more. Matthew George, Eric Eskery, and Blake Hoppy. Kleba's calling it, along with Baumler.
All right. So as Kleba comes down, that's going to put Brady Motes into the lead. Nick Pressey sits in second. Brian Jones is third. Each one of these guys came down on lap 84. And Motes and Pressey coming in. Brian Jones coming in. So this should give Dalton Tucker the lead, and we'll see by how far. We'll be passing these guys. They haven't even entered the pit box yet. There he goes, out in front. Currently showing 7.5 seconds out in front of Dylan Pickelsheimer. Whoa. And, yep, that's going to be the official time. 7.5 seconds out in front of Dylan Pickelsheimer, who's currently holding on to second. Stella, that's a pretty impressive lead here. Dalton Tucker would love to see this thing go green all the rest of the way here.
Oh, I bet. Odds, not so good. But while he's got it, might as well use it.
Yep. Well, Dustin Kleba just emerges out of pit road here. This is currently looking at Dustin Kleba now. I believe he's down a lap, so he'll be trying to catch Dalton Tucker and try to get past him, which will put him in the top 5.
So only our top 4 drivers are on the lead lap.
There you go. Dalton Tucker taking a little bit of strategy out here and trading it up. Take a look at Kleba sitting right behind him.
The question is, does Kleba at tires at 156 have enough tires to fly back past him the way Dalton Tucker did? Now, Tucker had 3 laps he had to regain. And did he burn up the tires doing it?
We'll see. Dustin Kleba just got that lap back as he slings on past Dalton Tucker. The next one to see if they can get past him will be Matthew George. George has got a little bit of work to do to catch up to him here. I would say Dalton Tucker can almost coast out to an 8.3 second lead.
Well, I'm just going to do a quick rundown. We've got 6 guys now who are taking it back to the garage. That'd be Al Likens, Kyle Rochelle, Sam Taylor, Nick Geilis, Jacob Lee, and Michael Moultrie.
All right, we can see back on a caution here. Back all the way back on lap 73 when we took a peek at our last caution. This is some trouble here. We saw it on the 12 with Sam Taylor going on around. That's what brought out the caution there. And then again on lap 84, it shows Dylan Pickelsheimer had an issue out here. And I'm assuming there's just some trouble later on. Whoop, yep, the 15 blinking out there. So everything A-OK. Dalton Tucker still holds on the lead over top of Conover. Conover's actually taking a bite into that lead. He's starting to kind of saw it down a bit here. Shaves off 2/10. charge their way back to the front here. About 130 laps to go here.
Yeah.
We are still churning forward. Right now, Dalton Tucker with an interesting pit call is paying off for now. At 131 is when he came down for 4 tires and fuel. It's actually paying off for Cody Smith as well, as currently he's holding on to 5th. Remember, Cody Smith actually involved earlier here in some trouble.
It's like there. Wow, is he having trouble with that car? Looks like he's driving on ice.
I wonder if the tires are starting to really set in here. That 8.3 second lead has now been cut to less than 6 and a quarter for Dalton Tucker. Tucker trying to get around Baumler. Baumler now says, nope. Behind me you go, as Baumler came in on lap 156 for tires.
Yeah, we've got several guys now, at least another 5 that have managed to get their lap back and are back on the lead lap. We currently have 8.
Yeah, but what a wild shuffle up, though.
Yes.
Yeah, the amount of drivers that have been down and going back up and then back down again. It's definitely switched up the way everybody's going to be pitting here tonight. Say, if we end up back under caution, it's going to change it up even more. I think everybody's got their strategy and they're married to it now.
I don't know, a couple cautions and everything can change. Brian Jones, was our leader for quite some time, and here he is down at 16th. I mean, he's still a record holder for best lap of the evening, and just can't quite get it back together.
Smith coming on down. Wonder if that does show any kind of hand here for Dalton Tucker. Went on lap 131 fuel-wise. Dalton Tucker should be able to make it to about lap 200.
Yeah, but he was having a little bit of trouble, Cody Smith, to begin with. He took a little side swipe back there and then was having some steering issues. Curious to see how long he's in the pit.
Got Bill Picklesheimer as well. Kleba goes ahead and passes Josh Conover. That'll be for the second position. A little smack off the wall there for James Hudson in the 88. is underway. Dalton Tucker still leads this one, but not for long. 2.5 seconds ahead. Tucker realizing them tires are starting to wear out on him. Dustin Kleba's 156 tires starting to reel him in. 25 laps pressure for Dustin Kleba on the tires. He's passing his teammate Cody Reeder 9th. Reeder wants his lap back. And he's got it. Eric Essery going to be the next one to try to get his lap back in the 32 machine. See how long this is going to last. Right now, that's Dustin Kleba here. Kleba off the wall.
Josh Conover, Matthew George, and Vincent Arthur back up again to their original starting places of 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Yeah, Christenberry is doing a heck of a job here tonight as he holds on to 8th. I give him 15 on the night, but he's got Kevin Baumler and Blake Hoppy currently sitting in front of him 6th and 7th. Right now we sit along in the car here with Dustin Kleba. who's only about a second off of Dalton Tucker here. Now, right now, you see this clutch of 3 cars. That 4th car in the windshield, that's Dalton Tucker. So that's Dustin Kleba. He can reach out and touch him now. And Tucker in the pit.
Wow, though. That was kind of close in my book as far as getting off in time before you had somebody inside your tailpipe.
Well, not a whole lot of room here at Bristol. We got to slide down and make it past that commitment square as they head on down. So Dalton Tucker are going to be once again a bunch of laps down here, as he still hasn't even made it to the pit box yet. Perhaps all the way around.
Crazy.
Yep. And now he's in the pit box. That puts him about 2 laps down.
Before he gets started.
Yep. So that's 2 currently. Take a look at Dustin Kleba working his way out of the pits. Dalton Tucker, and he should have it. He's got to hurry up and get up to speed before he ends up getting any worse here.
All right.
And watch Dalton Tucker turn on the afterburners here. He'll have the speed coming out of this one. Coming down lap 189 for Dalton Tucker.
13th and 2 laps down.
Yep. Well, we've seen him being able to make up 2 laps under green. So at 7.5 second mark, I would say, trying to check our timing out there, he will have to pit at least 1 more time.
Yes.
I'm scrambling, trying to work out some of the logistics here if these guys have to pit twice. If this goes green for the remainder here of the race, Dustin Kleba may be in trouble.
Well, if they can go 75, 78, you're looking at 150 laps. And we've got, yeah, maybe what, 103 left? So I think they should be able to make it with 1 more.
I think so. It's possible. It could be a scramble. I was wondering if they're going to be somewhere around 5 to 6 laps short.
That would be ugly.
All right, so that's currently Dalton Tucker passing our 5th place driver as he works to get his way on back. Impressive drive here. Brian Jones taking a look here at Nick Pressey. Pressey riding the high side, 45 machine staying low. He came on lap 157 is when he came down pit road. Knocking down under.
We'll have Josh Conover to contend with after that. He passes Nick Pressey.
I think so, yeah, but Conover currently sitting in the 2nd position. Brian Jones is currently battling for 11th. Look at Gladelick. Yes.
We can stick it in there.
Well, Jacob Gladelick firing right on through. He came in on lap 189. He's enjoying the fresh tires. Hooking on around. Brian Jones does get past Pressey. And now he's caught up between Moats and Conover. Right now I'm showing Moats currently sitting 10th. Dalton Tucker. Wow.
Yeah, but there had to be some kind of communication there because Conover ducked down and off he flew through. My goodness. Either that
oh, the boat! No, Brian Jones facing the wall. No caution.
Nope.
Holy cow, the 45 turned sideways. Oh. And enjoying the retaliation there. to Brady Moats. Moats gets folded up.
But
Wow.
everybody's still rolling. These things are tanks.
Wow. Stella, you can't tell me that wasn't on purpose at all.
Oh.
At all. Holy cow. He kind of mangled him there.
Just, yeah, both ways.
Let me see if I can take a look and find out this smack again off the wall. Oh.
Josh Conover pushed him up. Did he not?
Well. Wow. Well, that's short track racing for you.
Yeah.
Always a chance of payback. Now, what ended up happening is it looked like Jones tried to move up. And the front nose was sitting there of Brady Moats. And I think it did, the 45 was not too happy about that. All right, let's talk about some of our guys who are coming down pit. You see Cody Reader at the edge of your screen. Josh Conover coming on down. And Clevo remains out on the track since lap 156. Now nudging past that 60 lap mark here. He's been out on the track. 153 for Vincent Arthur. Matthew George has been out there since 155. Nobody taking any chances out there. 4 tires of fuel for everybody. Kaliba's still leading this race. Dalton Tucker only 27 seconds off pace. Still currently a lap down here, and then all the way around he's got to go. Dalton Tucker's been getting caught up in lap traffic. But he makes quick work of the 17 as he slings on by Christopher Heights. And Jacob Gladelick, he was on a tear there. Look at Dalton Tucker.
Yeah, well, between these two, Dustin Cleva and Dalton Tucker, I mean, last race, Tucker led 125 laps, and Dustin Cleva came in, led 31. So, two of them, I expect to see
Watch
some
this.
serious competition in the last laps.
Yeah, right now that wild card's the 20 on the bottom. I think he's going to send it 3 wide in front of Dalton Tucker. Oh my gosh, we're getting right in the cab here with Dalton Tucker. There we go, Ballmer behind him. Gets a full clear. Now he's trying to pick and choose where he wants to go. The 20 machine out there of Jacob Gladelick on the same tire strategy of Dalton Tucker. So these two have leveled it. And Dylan Picklesheimer came in on lap 180. Well, a little bit later. So Dalton Tucker coming in on lap 189. Going to be following the 20 here. As Dalton Tucker's now up to 5th.
Gladelick's shaking the trees. Tucker's raking the leaves.
Boy. Look at Tucker all the way all around the outside, passes the 20. Boy, oh boy. Heading down into pit is Matthew George. And out of the box, 15 seconds for him. An extended pit stop time out there for Vincent Arthur with a 16.5-second pit stop time. Unusual the Rainbow Warriors to be so slow down in the pit box. Vincent Arthur is able to recover out there onto the track. Remember, I said he didn't have a whole lot of practice time out there. Only about 30 laps before we got underway. Ooh, into the wall. I see Cody Smith that ended up ricocheting here. I think he's having a little bit of trouble. Doesn't like the outside. He'd like to drop down to the bottom. Try to keep it off that wall. Stella, Cleva, Baumler, Essery are all drivers who have yet to pit. Some of the other ones, Brian Jones coming in on lap 157 is yet to pit. And so is Nick Pressey. Dalton Tucker is already shot by the 6th and 5th place drivers and is currently on the lead lap here, running down Eric Essery, and the caution is out. Boy, this is going to jumble up the field something fierce here. Who comes down to pit and who doesn't?
Because Josh Conover just came down on 212. Matthew George on 217. We're pretty confident those guys will be, well, they might be on fumes at the end.
Yeah, these guys have plenty of tires. I expect our top 5 to 6 drivers should revisit. Dalton Tucker will get the wave around, and I expect him to pit. I would not want to start on the back foot here. And right now he's got to pit to level the playing field.
If Dalton Tucker was back on the lead lap, why does he get a wave around?
It's starting him from the end of the longest line. He should have been back around, but from where everybody had been shuffled up here. He had not crossed the start-finish line, so it showed him a lap down as he was coming up on Kaliba.
Okay.
All right, let me see if I can find something what caused our yellow flag here as we are in the hunt. I'm not currently showing anything that may have happened out there by obvious.
Captain or otherwise.
I'll say, Stella, you hearing anything on the radio what happened out there?
Down into the pits and see if I can find anything.
Okay. Right now I'm currently seeing Al Likens as the next driver take it back to the garage on 116. So horrible finish for him here tonight. I don't know if Brady Moats had a problem or what happened with Moats. What in the world is going on out here? There we go. Moats is around. Looks like Dylan Picklesheimer gets into the back end. Into the, Dylan Picklesheimer into the back end here of Brady Moats. Just barely gets past Brian Jones there. All right, Stella, it looks like everybody's going to go ahead and get cleaned up here. Checking in on our pit strategy. Yep, called it here. Dalton Tucker will be starting in third. Fresh tires for him. Right now, it looks like there's a little confusion on the inside lane. The drivers getting ready to stack up again. Cleva Baumler, Dalton Tucker, and Eric Essery are the only drivers out there that are on the lead lap.
Yeah, a lot of guys in the pits were saying this just messed up everybody's strategy.
Well, if I were a driver like Dalton Tucker, I've only got 3 other guys I need to battle right now.
That's it.
And right now, this couldn't have gone any better. Unfortunately, his pit strategy kind of gets scrubbed here. But Kaliba is going to have to figure out how to conjure up a little more speed out there and see if he can get the separation he's been looking for. You see Conover following behind him. That is not the driver in second. Kevin Baumler is. Sitting off by about 3/4 of a second. Stella less than 70 laps to go here at the Food City 300. Dustin Kleba, Kevin Baumler, Dalton Tucker, and Eric Essery are only drivers here on the lead lap. Everybody else gets scrubbed here all the way to the back, and that's going to hurt. Seeing that Dylan Picklesheimer once again coming up on Brady Moats. Moats, I think, has had enough. It looks like the rear end of that car has been mangled more than once here tonight.
Yeah, he's got a little dent in the front, too.
Yep. And he's trusting the process a little too much out there, not working as well as he had hoped. Brady Moats currently sitting in a favorable 10th position out there. Vincent Arthur down to 11th as he sits in front of Matthew George. So right now, a couple of guys shuffling around out there in the Hendrick Motorsports team, and they are trying to come up with some sort of an answer to what Dustin Kleba has been doing out there with Edinburgh Ham Motorsports.
Yeah, and some of the fellas that I was talking about, like Matthew George and Vincent Arthur, chose not to come down during this caution. So they are running on 217 and 215 tires and fuel. So I was making that mention earlier as to whether they would, risk having to come down one more time, or whether they think they could make it. And By the look of it, they think they can make it.
Boy, I wouldn't hold that.
Why wouldn't they have come down then?
I'm expecting another caution here. I would say if we get a caution after lap 250, it's going to be pretty sketchy whether guys come down or not. They can guarantee they'll be coming down, but they were looking for a wave around, trying to get another lap back. Trying to close the gap here. All right, there's Dustin Kleba looking to see if he can battle along with Kevin Balmer, which Balmer has taken the lead from him. Right now, here comes Dalton Tucker around the outside. Tucker snugs in behind Kleba, and they're going to go ahead and let Kevin Balmer run it off here. I would assume right now, seeing the kind of speed that Balmer is putting down, I wonder if he's punishing that car a little too hard early into this run. They're going to be looking to attack him a little bit later. Stella, these two guys currently sitting in the top three, very seasoned drivers. Feeling pretty confident about what they can do out there. But a lot of questions kind of remain of the difference between the crew chief and the driver out there. You know, do they have an answer? Are they going to be able to make something happen? As you see our leader now catching up to the back end of our field here. Jacob Gladelick going a lap down, and right now that's going to be some trouble here for the 20 as 20's heading in.
Yeah, that is always a wild card when they hit the lap traffic. Sometimes they can get around them with ease, sometimes not so much. Occasionally you'll have a teammate making a business decision to hold someone up or not. Sometimes they'll block for them. So we shall see what happens here, since 15 guys are lap traffic.
Yep. That's Josh Conover running for his life here, trying not to go another lap down. Balmer starting to reel him in. Very close right now. Conover currently running in the 7th position. See Gladelick working his way out of pits. That was something else to kind of consider when you're here at Bristol. Guys coming out of pit road. Very, very sketchy around the turn. Some guy drops low enough to touch somebody on the apron, and somebody's going to get nudged. All right, Stella, if I'm not mistaken, drivers from 20th place on down have retired here for the night. Cody Heighton at 15, unable to return, as he is spending about 5 minutes sitting there in the pit box.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's coming back, so that makes it from 19 on down. Cody Height, now Likens, Rochelle, Taylor, Giles, Lee, and Moultrie have all retired.
Do you have any idea what has happened to Mike Moultrie here lately? I mean, that guy comes out here, races, gets himself a win, and it has just been falling off the cliff since.
I do not.
All right, Stella. We sit here and look at all the pit strategies out of our drivers out here. Of lap 227, when Dalton Tucker, Justin Cleveland, Kevin Baumler, and Eric Essery came down into pits, as well as a good chunk of these other guys. Well, my question is do they have enough fuel to make it to the end? Is anybody going to pit? Is there going to be a caution, seeing that we're now catching up at the back end of the field here? And right now, Kevin Balmer, I guarantee you, this guy starting outside the top 10 here tonight. Right now, this is almost a Cinderella story for him, as he is trying to stay out in front. Dalton Tucker passes Dustin Kleba here, and we're getting ready to see if he's in some trouble.
Well, by statistics, anybody who pit at 225 or later has it on fuel. So you can kind of average, take your best judgment on somebody like Cody Reeder at 211, Blake Hoppy at 213. They're, unless they have a pretty good conservation tactic, they're going to be in trouble.
Yep. Well, Dalton Tucker is able to overcome Kevin Baumler. And around he goes. Dalton Tucker now regains the lead. I would say Dalton Tucker's goal is to get out front in that fresh air, stop making that engine fight so hard through it. And he may be able to start conserving some fuel here with a half a second lead. He's praying right now for 40 laps here for green all the way to the end, Stella. But yeah, I would say yes, the calculation of fuel, 75 to 78 laps, but I have been seeing them pit as little as 65.
Oh, if there's caution, absolutely. I wouldn't pass up the opportunity of doing it even at 65 with a caution if I might have to do it under green later.
Well, even if it does come under caution, consider the amount of wave rounds. You would have to see at least our top, taking a look, at least I believe our top 13 drivers getting the wave around. And that would be how far back you would start. So I would say if caution were to come out now, Dalton Tucker come back down, throw a new set of rubber on there, about 50 laps fresher than anybody else. We'll see him slice through the field once again. A great job here so far by Dalton Tucker, now stretching it out to 3/4 of a second. Kevin Baumler, who enjoyed his time out front, is making it happen. You were talking about Tucker actually leading a bunch of laps out there. And Kaliba coming away with a win with only 30 laps.
Yes.
Also something to consider, Chip Nasi Racing, the only driver out there is Dalton Tucker here tonight. No help, Kaliba trying to see if he can work with Cody Reeder and Brian Jones with Evernham Motorsports. And right now Cody Reeder down in the 12th position. Brian Jones currently sitting in 5th, a lap down. Stella, definitely want to mention here as we kind of watch this race kind of wind down a little bit, and the 88 starting to pinball a little bit off Kevin Baumler, one of our leaders out there. And Josh Conner currently sitting 7th, working along with him. Let's talk about the podcast In the Fence out there. Brought to you by Dustin Kleba and Cody Reeder. Guys, check it out tomorrow morning. They'll be releasing a podcast about NORA and the race that they've even run tonight. Definitely check them out. Leader here with the NORA Racing League. Check out In the Fence out there on Spotify. All right, less than 30 laps to go in this one. Dalton Tucker leading out front by only half a second as Kleba starting to turn on the afterburners. Smoke out in front, where Brian Jones gets a little nasty. Right front damage to the 45 machine. Dalton Tucker doesn't let off the gas, stays in it, and trying to get around. Boy, oh boy, this is going to be some trouble out here on the track. Something tells me Nick Pressey may have been involved as well. Pressey heading on down into pits.
Yeah, Blake Hoppy, one of our 213 people, has come down, taken 4 tires of fuel on 265, and is going to come back out. So we are back to the Tucker and Kleba show.
Yep, only separated by half a second here. The number 9 out there of Dustin Kleba, trying to make his Dodge come up with a little more power to see if he can run down Dalton Tucker. Now, Tucker has been on a rampage here, trying to get his way back to the front, but I just don't know if Dustin Kleba has enough, but that's not going to matter. You want to talk about late race caution? Now's the time. Blake Hoppy is our driver around here on lap 269.
And yes, what caused it?
Boy, did he come down and just pit?
Yes.
I thought you said he just came down pit road. So Blake Hoppy on a fresh set of tires here takes the outside line like he always has, hooks to the inside, and it just grips too well, and let's go.
like I said, somebody was expecting a caution from a new set of tires and a spin out.
Yep.
Wish granted.
What happens now? I would say Dalton. I would There's no way. Dalton Tucker's got to pit here. Yep.
There he goes. Aha. But Kleba changed his mind, decides to go in too, as well as Conover, Baumler. Oh my heavens.
Yep. Fire sale.
Yeah, Brian Jones didn't, but I think he's too busy on the wave around. He'll come back in when he makes his lap. Now Cody Reeder. What is he doing?
Well, if we get multiple cautions here, he may be trying to knock one of them off.
Okay.
I know.
But he pit on 211. I'm just kind of
Yeah, it's going to be gutsy here. I want to know where Dalton Tucker's going to restart. Looks like he's on pit road first, off pit road first. So perfect stop for Dalton Tucker. 1473, 4 tires and fuel. I would expect Dalton Tucker to take only just enough fuel to make it to the end. All right, these guys get the wave around. All right, out there in the chat, guys, light it up here. We got a wild race here coming down to the end. We're here with the National Oval Racing Association at the Food City 300. Great race here so far at Bristol. Dalton Tucker getting ready to let this one go. They're going to hold off till Barney signals. And we are going to watch Eric Essery. Here we go. Currently sitting on top of Eric Essery's machine here, as it looks like cutting in front is going to be Vincent Arthur. Whoa, Vincent Arthur, hold it.
He's got it. Just barely, but he's got it.
Yep, well, right now Essery would like to fire it right up the center there. Finally gets a full clear and now moves around. Dalton Tucker does hang out front, though, in front of Kleba. Kleba going to try to run him down. Oh, knock, knock. Vincent Arthur into the wall, and let me tell you, I don't know, that 24 looked like he was trying to retaliate and ended up costing himself even more damage. Caution, not yet. Knocks off of Matthew George here. Vincent Arthur now down to 11th.
Something may be wrong, because he's gone back up onto that wall 3 times now. 4. Ow.
All right, knocking down some serious speed is Dalton Tucker, knocking down the fastest lap here of the race with a 14:69. Pretty impressive that as long as this track continues to wear in, these things keep happening and making it move on through. Right now I'm showing Cody Reeder had some trouble out there on the track right after our green flag start. Right now Cody Reeder currently sitting in 6th. Pretty impressive to see at least all of the Evernham Motorsports drivers are sitting in the top 6. But Kleba is starting to run out of time here with 14 laps left to go. That only gives them about 7 miles to figure it out here.
Not far, 15 seconds a lap.
No, it's not. So Food City 300 getting ready to close up here. Checking out there in the chat, Nick Pressey saying he got taken out by a grudge match. Yeah, so right now Pressey down and out here. 18th position is where he's going to finish here tonight. Everybody getting pretty smoked out here. Stella, if I'm not mistaken, Jacob Gladelick in the 20 has taken it back to the garage.
I do believe so, on lap 281.
Yep, well, passing him here in just a moment will be Christopher Heights. That's going to drive Gladelick down to the 16th position. And I don't think there's enough time for James Hudson to make up that kind of distance to run him down there. I may be wrong. All right, Dalton Tucker. Well, Dalton Tucker had been following the 45 earlier in the race. Right now, it looks like it's going to be the other way around. Brian Jones currently down now 2 laps. As Dalton Tucker goes ahead and gets around Brian Jones. Jay out there calling for the Bristol Carnage. It's definitely happening out there.
Bash or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, bash for cash.
Bash for cash.
You.
Yep. All right, Dalton Tucker looks like all he needs is green flag laps, and this one's in the bag for him. Kevin Ballmer, not bad by the number 30 here. Right now, Kevin Ballmer's Monte Carlo out there, definitely rocking on the track. His Chevrolet doing just the thing. Come away with it. Eric Essery sitting back about 2 seconds off Ballmer here before they end up in any more trouble. Take a look right now. That is Dylan Picklesheimer working underneath Brian Jones there. And Cody Smith didn't get as lucky as Dalton Tucker, especially on that pit strategy these guys are running.
No, but he's had some work done a couple times. He gets his fair share of bumps and bruises out there.
Now, Stella, we watch these guys here at a short track. A lot of tempers, a lot of guys ready to beat each other up out there. You head to a track like Texas next week, and this is going to be, I don't see how something like this does not transfer over to a track like that. I don't see how we're not completely caution-ridden there. You get around some guy who's been bumping and banging you around out there. We saw the 45 and Brady Moats were doing. Nick Pressig says he got taken out by the same sort of thing happening out there on the track. There's a lot of stuff that happens outside of the camera view. We try to catch as most of it as we can. But man, oh man, even at a half-mile track, I'm telling you, there's stuff happening everywhere. Especially the white flag coming out here at the Food City 300. Last lap here for Dalton Tucker, leading by 3/4 of a second. Kleba trying to see if he can Hail Melon it on around. No can do. Right now, the number 9 trying to make something of it, but coming to the checkered flag, Dalton Tucker comes away with the win. The number 42 machine making it happen. Great job. Awesome job, awesome job. We'll be in the hunt here for Kevin Ballmer with Richard Childress Racing. We'll see what all he has to say. Can't wait to talk to him. I don't think we've had an opportunity out there to see what all he can and cannot do. That's impressive when it's only the top 4 drivers that made it on the lead lap.
Yes. It is not the first time we have seen that, but it's true. Yeah, it will be our first time seeing Mr. Baumler.
All righty, guys. Impressive race here so far.
Huge.
I'm wondering if this is Dalton Tucker, if he's stalled out, if he's out of fuel.
No way.
Yeah, he's out of fuel. See the RPM gauge? He's dead on the door now.
Oh, my heavens.
That's how close he was.
Oh.
All righty. Mr.
Wow.
Vincent Arthur going to show you how it's done. All right. Hold on, guys. We'll be right back. Alrighty, everybody, catching up with our third place driver, driving the Jeff Burton number 30 car, Kevin Balmer. What a race this was here tonight, buddy. Started outside the top 10, but finished with a podium position. How did you enjoy Bristol?
Yeah, I've always had a really good time at this track, and ever since I started on here, I feel like I've always had something figured out around this place.
Is it the short track? Is it the concrete? Or is it just the drivers that you race around out here tonight?
Probably a little bit of both. I enjoy short track racing. I find it pretty fun myself, but I mean, really the whole entire season, I feel like I've had probably top 7, top 8 speed, and I've just kind of, whether I was making mistakes or got caught on pit road with cautions, so it's nice to finally have it pay off here tonight.
This has to transfer over into Texas. Fortunately, you didn't get in too much trouble out here. A lot of drivers with some tempers out here, I'm sure, will. Go ahead and give me your shout-outs here while I got you on the air.
Yeah, just shout out to you and Stella for doing the broadcast, and the admin crew for NORA that puts on these races. I know they spend a lot of time during the week setting all this stuff up and reviewing everything. And got to give a shout out to my coach on here, Caden Honeycutt and Vasante Salas. They both have helped me out quite a bit, and everybody over at RCR, Fast House, that whole group.
Awesome job. All right, Kevin Balmer, congratulations on your third place finish, and congratulations to Richard Childress Racing make it into the podium position here tonight. We'll let you get that AOL car ready for the next race.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yep. All right, awesome job here. Now we move on to the Evernham Motorsports team out there with the number 9 of Dustin Kleba out there running the Casey Kane Dodge. Talk to me about this race here tonight, buddy.
It was a good one. I think I probably finished where I was. Well, that sounds dumb. I probably finished where I deserved to finish. Dalton was super fast on the short run. I think long runs I might have had him a little bit, but it was hard to tell. We were both kind of on split strategies there with that one caution that came out where it seemed like half the field, a good handful, came down pit road, and then about 3 of them stayed out, and we were basically off cycle the entire time. So race got a little funky. I think I had everybody but about 2 guys a lap down at one point. And then, man, I was feeling pretty good because I think everybody was going to have to 2-stop it at the end, and I was going to be able to make it on 1. And then, yeah, that one caution came out and just kind of put the plan to not in my favor. But no, it was good. It was kind of a tricky track. You had to run the bottom a little bit to save tires, but if you missed the bottom, then you would completely burn your tires up, and then you go up high where maybe it was a little bit faster, but you could burn your tires up there too. So it was a tough one, but fun race overall.
Yeah, as the track started to set in, it seemed everybody was enjoying running a little bit of a higher line here tonight, but I would say Dalton Tucker and the way his pit strategy was here tonight, he was able to run you down not once but twice on those fresh tires. Were you concerned if this were to go green all the way that he may have had the possibility of doing it not once but twice?
No, like I said, I wasn't too concerned about that because I knew Dalton was going to have to 2-stop it, and I only needed to do 1 stop. So I was actually praying for it to go green, and then I would be able to. Sorry, they're talking in my ear, and it's really distracting to talk to you guys and listen to them at the same time. But no, if it would have went green the whole time, I think we would have been sitting pretty good. And like I said, I think Dalton I might have had him a little bit on the long run. So just seemed like just talking to my teammates, I was able to save my tires a little bit better than everyone else. So long runs are my favor, and that's just not how it ended, but that's the way it goes.
All right, man. I'm definitely a fan of short track racing. Go ahead and give me your shout-outs here. We got to get you ready for the In the Fence run here that you got to do here in just a moment. But give me a shout-out of your sponsors. Tell me how you feel about Texas, and let's get you ready for your podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to my teammates, Brian and Cody. Cody and I got a little heated. Sorry, buddy. Even teammates get mad at each other. It's just how we are. But yeah, shout out to the family that watches every single week. And Brian or Josh that puts on the league every week. You guys for coming in here every week. And making his show. But man, Texas, old Texas, I haven't ran that track in probably 3-4 years, however long it's been since they repaved it. So yeah, gonna have to go back and relearn it, especially with this car. But another mile and a half should be pretty good. Sure, there'll be the same guys up front as there usually are. But shout out to Kevin. He had a great run tonight. He was super fast. So I'm sure we'll have some sneaky guys up there next week too. But yeah, In the Fence, go check it out on Spotify. We'll probably release it here late tonight, so you can listen to it early in the morning.
Awesome, awesome. Dustin Kleba, congratulations on your second place finish. I'm sure this isn't the only time we'll find you in the podium position, so keep the charge running, buddy, and glad to have you back.
Gosh, I hope so. If I go a week without talking to you guys, I get withdrawals.
Yeah, I'll try to believe that, buddy.
Jokes. We got jokes.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, buddy. All right, wow. Awesome job. All right, normally the bride's maid, but this time the bride. Here he is, Dalton Tucker out there in the Dodge. Out there in the number 42 Haviland machine. Can't miss the Jamie McMurray paint scheme. Dalton Tucker, what a race here, dude.
Yeah, that was excruciating. I've never sweated so much in a race on here, and it was definitely worth it tonight.
Was 300 laps enough for you tonight, or could you have gone more?
I think that first little run we got where it was only about half a lap was worth it to me.
Man, with the amount of people out there racing against you and the rest of this field, man, ill-timed caution messed everybody up. Your pit strategy was, I would say, a different one. You got a lot of camera time tonight because you decided to pit about 30 to 40 laps earlier than everybody else. Talk to me through the strategy you had going out there.
Honestly, it was a very, very bad strategy, and we didn't do that many laps under one of those green flag runs, so I kind of figured track position was key. Everybody was going to stay out with me. Well, caution comes out, everybody pits but me, and I would literally thought I was just screwed in that moment. But luckily, it was interesting going through the pack that way, but I would not have won this race if that caution didn't come out at the end.
Okay, so well-timed caution for you, ill-timed caution for most of these other drivers. It doesn't look like you kind of bashed and banged anybody out there on the track. A lot of guys are going to be taking this fight over to Texas next week. Go ahead and give me your shout-outs here and talk to me about, your confidence level heading more to the legacy track there of Texas before they began the repaving.
Yeah, definitely give a shout out to every driver that ran tonight. I've been in a ton of Bristol races that are miserable and 5 laps caution, and we had some. I have never had a green flag pit stop, and we had quite a few of them. So shout out to everybody. That was a heck of a job in a car that has a ton of power and not very much grip. So hats off to everybody. Shout out to my teammates. Michael had a bad luck at the very beginning. Wish he could have stuck around. Had a new teammate tonight. Not sure where he was, but wish he could have made it. And shout out to you guys in the booth. I know y'all had lots of battles here just from seeing everything on track. Tons of 2 wide and different strategies. Some good, some not so good. Like mine could have been, but luck this one out. Just overall, can't wait to go see what the broadcast is. And going into Texas, the Legacy track, I've done a ton of races there, but I've never done one in the Gen 4 or the ARCA car. So this should be interesting. I'm not too sure. I've never liked the old Legacy. I like the new track a lot more. Turn 1 and 2, can't quite figure it out. So we'll see how that goes. If it has some throttle control, I'll enjoy it, but we'll see.
Oh boy, we'll all be hanging on the edge there. Dalton Tucker, congratulations for being the winner here at the Food City 300. And man, oh man, talk about a stroke of luck and some hard racing out there. Awesome job, buddy, and we'll see you at Texas.
Appreciate it.
All right, Stella, that should do it for us here tonight. Awesome job here. Dalton Tucker coming away with the win. What a run he had here tonight. And he even admitted he had a horrible pit strategy, and things were not going quite his way, but he was actually able to pull out of it, come away with a solid finish, and then be able to do something with it, especially late in the race.
Yeah, it, like you say, he kind of switched places with his buddy there, Dustin Kleepa. But I liked it. We had a lot of lead changes. That's what counts to me, you know, rather than one guy who's out there by 10 seconds for an entire race. We had Cody Smith finished up 11. Jake Christenberry finished up 12. We had some really hard chargers. Eric Essery coming up in 4th position tonight, up 7. That was a nice finish for him. So off to Texas next week. Let's do this.
All right, well, we're all going to hold our breath as we head to Texas next week. But that's going to do it for us here at SimTraX Broadcasting, bringing you the National Oval Racing Association, the Gen 4 Cup Series. Be well, be safe, be kind, and we'll see all you guys next time.